how's she going? Mike here. Welcome back to Grampie's Workshop. We're getting her back together, boys. I'm telling you, it's coming along good. The last episode I put the shelf in the bottom and I was talking about doing something kind of different here for this cubby in the corner. Well, my idea is I want to put some vertical sliding drawers in here, if you know what I'm trying to say there. Instead of the horizontal kind, I want them vertical, then I can hang things on them. And then when I'm working here at the bench, I can just pull them out and get access to them. So what I need to do that, I think what I need to do, because I have no plan for this, is I'd like to put kind of a framework around here so I could place another shelf on top, because I'm going to need a bottom to start to build these sliding cubbies on. So I've started by cutting a piece of 2x4, and again just using scraps that's around the shop, so this 2x4 it's not really good stuff, but it's just little pieces and it's working great for this. So I took some time and put this front piece, it's just sitting in there, it's not secured yet, but I made it level, and I think it's square. I never did check the squareness. Yeah, not bad. I also drew this line level all the way around, so I have a piece I'm going to put in here, but because this is just going to be a shelf basically with nothing on it, I don't need to have full pieces go all the way around the perimeter. So this piece, if you notice, is not going to go all the way to the corner, but it is going to be out the front here to support this front piece. All right, so that'll hold that on there. I can put a screw through here. Now, I'd like to put another piece across the back. So I spent a lot of time cutting out my piece of plywood here. It doesn't fit perfect, but after all, it's not a coffin we're building, right? That's a pretty big gap. You might say, holy darn, you missed that up, Mike, but I left that on purpose because whenever I build this cabinet, however it turns out, I'm going to end up putting a wall on here. So I'm going to end up with a side on my bench to pile junk against it. But the idea is this smart panel is going to fit down in there, and I'm going to use that as an outside skin here on the wall, on this cabinet. Well, you know what? I kind of got ahead of myself. I did a bunch of work here, and I forgot to turn the camera on. Apologize for that. But I'll just bring you up to speed. The shelf is in place now, and what I want to do is make some vertical drawers, I'm going to call them. I don't know what you'd call them. I'm using these metal full extension slides to get them to open. These are pretty handy things. They open full extension, plus at full extension they'll still support like 150 pounds. So these are really nice slides, but when I tried to put them on my shelf, it turns out they were an inch longer than what my shelf was, than the top of the bench. So what I did to accommodate that was I took a piece of 2x4 and I cut it down, and here's what happened. I cut it, I think this is 2¼ inches wide, then I cut a rabbet out of here to fit around the plywood top. So then I set my piece in here to bring it out to the 27 inches, and it matches up with the thickness of the bench, the metal top bench. So that worked out all right. And then I tried to trying to decide like how wide the spacing I'm going to put between my shelves. And like I've never put these shelves up before, so I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just sort of going one step at a time. But what I did was I tried a little bit of a mock-up here. So I put a 1/4 inch spacer next to the wall, and I need that because when I pulled my drawer out, it was scratching against the wall. I don't know whether you can see that, but I put a little mark on there. So when the slide here was right tight against the wall, it was too close to the wall. So I put a 1/4 inch spacer behind that. Then I put my slide, and then I just put a piece of acetylate on here just as sort of a mock-up to give me an idea what it's going to look like. But this, I hope these backer plates are going to be 3/4 inch plywood. I have to go to town tomorrow, and I'm planning on buying some plywood. Holy crow, I better take my wallet with me, eh? But anyway, I'll have another one of those slides, like this slide will be up here to support the top of it. So then when I pull this out, whatever's on it, you see it comes full extension, so I'll be able to access whatever's on that. Plus, this was totally by accident, like I sure didn't plan this, but at full extension, it doesn't come up against my parts cubby. So, you know, ooh, locked out there. But that just made me think that, yeah, this is a really good idea to make my shelves that way. But I'm also going to need mounting supports for the bottom sliders for the other two. I'd like to put at least 3 of those sliding drawers in here. I went and I cut up some, I just had some 1x3 strapping. It's just 3/4 of an inch wide. So I cut those long enough to fit in here. So what I'd like to do is locate that one, say there, and that one there. I'll figure out what the dimensions are, but then I can secure those from down underneath this shelf. And the idea there is that then I can put my sliders on those to support the bottom sliders. And then when I build this panel, I'll put a top shelf on it, and then I'll do the same thing at the top. I'll put things like this at the top to secure the slider at the top, so I can put my vertical drawers in there that way. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try to settle on the dimensions that I would have for each of these drawers. I think I'm going to have 2 wide ones and 1 narrow one. Set these in place, and then I have to work on establishing this panel, how I'm going to make that, what I'm going to make it out of, how I'm going to locate it, how I'm going to secure it. This is not a how-to channel, but I got a lot of how-tos that I need to do to get this corner cupboard built. So I'm trying to come up with ideas, you know, on the spacing here. So one of the things I've got a couple of these little cubbies, you know, these little things with the drawers in them. So I'd like to put at least 1 or 2 of those on this slider. Also, I'm anticipating maybe storing some coffee cans in here, plus storing some spray bottles like brake cleaner, paint, well not paint so much, but lubes, spray cleaners, things like that. So in order to do that, I need, I don't know, about that much room, I'd say, to store that one in there. For the coffee cans, with that much room, and then for the cubbies, if I put a wall up here, you know, that might be good. I have to remember too that if I put a shelf in here, say to hold this can or to hold the spray cans, I like to have a little lip on the front of it. So, you know, space is going to be at a premium, that's for sure. All right. So now, that one is 6.5. That one is 6.5. And if this is a 3/4 inch wall set right up against the edge of the bench, that would make that one 3.5. So that might work, eh? And I determined that I wanted to be 6.5 inches there, right? So I measured over 6.5 inches, put a mark, then a mark at the back, and drew my line. So okay, so now I'm going to put that on here, line it up with those lines, and then go underneath and run some screws into that. Well, that was easy. So that's good and secure on there. So I'm going to do the same with this next one. So there's that base part put in. So what I want to start out with is making this panel. Now I had a lot of different ideas how to make that panel, but I come up with this plan of I'm going to make just a frame out of some 1x3 and then put a panel in the middle of it. So the way I'm going to make this, I've got 2 stiles, uprights, and I need this cross piece, this header, and I'm going to join them with pocket holes. This little divider that I'm making there, I want to put a panel in it, and the panel I'm going to use is a piece of the smart panel board that I had when I sheathed in the lumber shed. I had a piece left over, so I want to use that. So what I want to do is cut a rabbet in here about 3/4 of an inch or 3/8 of an inch deep and about a 1/2 inch wide. I've set my saw height here at 3/8 of an inch, and I've set the fence back at 1/2 inch. So now I should be able to run that through there and make a cut, and then reset the saw to finish cutting out, because I want to make a rabbet in this. That's what I'm up to. Okay, now that I have the first cut made, now to finish the rabbet, I want to set my fence, or set the blade height to about a 1/2 inch. And because I want to make it 3/8 of an inch recess, I'll set my fence to 3/8 of an inch. All right, let's try it. my rabbit. Alright, so now that piece goes like that, this piece should go like that, this piece should go like that, and my panel will sit in the back here. So I had my pieces cut with the rabbits and I'm ready to assemble them, but look at the issue I have now. Because of this rabbit, I don't have anything left here to put my pocket screws into to hold those pieces together, right? Because they're going to be assembled this way, and the pocket screw, because I cut that out. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to throw that away, I'm going to save it, but I cut another piece now, another piece for the top, and what I did was I added an inch to the length of it, to the overall length, to make up for this rabbit. So now what I want to do is just cut this here, like so. Cut that part out, so that I'll have kind of like a little lap joint right there to fit over that. Then I can put my pocket holes in it, and hopefully it'll secure better. Okay, so what I want to do, I have my blade and fence set up. I want to cut this end and this end out, so we're just going to try it. Now I raise this to about a ½ inch. That looks pretty good there. And then I'll set it to 3/8. And then when I run that through there, that should cut it out pretty good. Alexa, start back.
Okay.
So now I need to put a couple pocket holes on this side. I need to cut a rabbit out of this inside back edge. So now I have my rabbit cut. So we should be able to go assemble this now. Smear that glue in there good. So now our rabbit is all right on this side. Put our Craig clamps on here to hold that joint tight together. Hopefully it won't split everything apart. And just pull it in tight together like that. We'll just check this for square. Not bad. So here's my frame. I have it over here on my saw now because we're going to put the panel in it. I had some smart panel, so I cut a piece out. I cut it big enough to fit. So we're going to put this in here. In order to secure this panel into here, I have some 3/4 inch brads. So I'm going to try and pop some brads into it. I might just put a clamp from here to here just to hold everything tight. I don't want to put a lot of pressure on that, but just enough to hold it together there, eh? So now we're going to put some brads in here. I'm going to shoot them in at a bit of an angle, make sure they don't come out the front, or hope they don't come out the front. We'll just continue down the side here. Move my clamp down to the bottom. You ready to see what it looks like? Me too. There it is. Alright, so that's the panel. You'll notice here at the bottom too that I have it protruding past the bottom. And that's because that's supposed to slide down between the metal bench top and the shelf that I built in the corner. So let's go try and stand this up. So this is supposed to fit right in here. What do you think? Kind of does, eh? It sure closes in the bench, I'll say that much. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. So what I did is I put pocket holes, so there's one here, 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 and here, way up the top. So hopefully that's going to secure that in there good and tight. All right, not bad. And oh, nice and level out there. And it's square with the bench. This end is, well, we can make adjustments on this end when I put the top on it. And speaking of putting the top on, that's what's coming next. So I'm going to start making some plans for the top. Well, this is going to have to be the end of part one for the vertical storage cabinet build. It's just the video's getting too long. I don't like to make long videos, so sorry about that. But thanks for watching as long as you did. I sure appreciate it, and I hope you tune in again for part two. Thanks for watching, folks. Don't forget to thumbs up me. Let me know in the comments what you think about this idea. Is it a good storage solution? I hope you'll agree that it is. Take care, and we'll talk to you.